Hey CWI students.
Hey, I'm Ms. Hollingsworth.
I'm Mr. Randall.
And we're going to remind you about the science behind global warming that you learned in 9th grade, a long time ago, from one of us probably.
And we're going to be talking about ways that carbon is stored in Earth systems, and also ways that carbon can be transferred from one Earth system or one Earth reservoir to another.
So you might remember that Earth is a system. Everything is connected. We have plants have carbon in them. That's one reservoir. We have land that has carbon in it. That's another reservoir. We have our oceans. They have carbon in it. And we have our atmosphere that has carbon in it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we're going to forget about the part of this diagram that includes humans for right now and talk about some of the processes that have been happening for thousands of years, or tens of thousands of years here on the planet. So do you want to start with plants?
So plants do photosynthesis. Remember this from life and from biology. Carbon dioxide is taken from the atmosphere, added with water to make glucose and oxygen. Plants do this naturally, taking carbon dioxide out. It's a very fast process, so it's from the atmosphere into the plants.
And over long periods of time, the carbon that's stored in plants, when they decay and get covered by layers and layers of dirt, eventually that carbon is stored in the earth. Look over that diagram here, as either coal, which is in the land, and also as oil and natural gas, all right, which we generally are called fossil fuels. That's a very slow process. It takes tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years for that process to take place.
And carbon dioxide from the atmosphere can also come down and hit rain and become carbonic acid and go into the ocean, and that's where we store our carbon dioxide in the ocean.
Okay. And then here's where humans come in. Over the last 200 years or so, humans have developed transportation that burns fossil fuels like cars, that take oil. We used to get lots of our oils from underground on land. Now we have lots of offshore oil rigs that pull this up or pump this up out of the ground. That combustion reaction, octane is one of the molecules in that oil that we burn in gas, and that carbon is then stored as carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. We also use fossil fuels and burn them to produce our electricity. Even here in Washington State, most of your electricity comes from burning coal. We use natural gas and coal to heat our homes. We also use all three fossil fuels in factories. All three of those are ways that carbon dioxide can move from the land into the atmosphere.
So, thousands of years ago, before all of this action happened, we had a very balanced system where carbon was moving freely through all of these reservoirs, through plants and the atmosphere, coming down into the oceans and back out again. And now, with the advent of all of this human activity, our system is no longer in balance. So things are not moving as freely through. We have more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, more carbon in our oceans, and it's disrupting the balance of this system.
So what we've showed you so far are different ways that carbon has been stored, and also recently different ways that humans have been changing the percentage of carbon stored in each of those different reservoirs. A couple things to note about carbon dioxide. When it is in the atmosphere, carbon dioxide has a resonance frequency that's in a range that absorbs specific colors of infrared light. Infrared light that's produced by our sun is absorbed by that CO2, and also infrared light that's produced by the Earth, and on its way out to space, it gets reabsorbed by that CO2, which is one of the things that has caused global warming. Global temperatures are warmer now by about 2 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe, than about 100 years ago.
So all that CO2 is in our atmosphere, blanketing, basically not letting heat out, it's getting trapped in, and so it's a big blanket that keeps our atmosphere warmer, 2 degrees more than it's ever been before.
So your job as CWI students, I'm not sure quite what it is, but it is to understand the science behind this and also understand the politics.
So remember the science when you're talking about the
Good.
politics in CWI. It's all should be based on science. Any recommendations or musings?
Yeah.
Science first.